in the Columbia green. It's elected by everything. From galaxies to cybertrons. We bring the news, we wear no crowns. We tired eyes, half closed. Energy low, but focus flows. A roller size each tech detail. Depressed or not, we shall prevail. Regions tired eyes, half closed. Energy low, but focus flows. A roller size each tech detail. Depressed or not, we shall prevail. Lazy entertainment, here we go. Games and tech on a primetime show. Monk may drop in, make it free. Plugged into virtual reality.
Hello and welcome to the Reading Entertainment Podcast, episode 465 for November 17th, 2024. Aro is not here this week, but I am joined by Connor the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
It's me. I'm all you've got.
That's all I have. I might have been able to tag somebody else in if you didn't show up, but most likely what I would have done is take a nap.
I'm all you have.
Yeah. So I'm of course your host, Reeton, and I would like to know, Aroa, no, your name is Connor. What games you played this week?
What games have I played this week? Let me talk about the one that I've mostly been playing, which is Baldur's Gate 3.
Nice.
Boy, I have this trend where I usually don't get games until after they go on sale. So as standard for me, I really missed the ball on this one. But damn, this game is good. We, and by we, I mean you, me, and a couple of the crew members of Bug City Blues. We were playing whenever we couldn't get together to record.
You cut off there. Connor, you cut off there.
I cut off there. What was
Yeah.
the last thing you heard?
You were talking about us playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Once we started playing that really sparked off something in me. Like, I have basically been not able to stop playing this game. I've lost sleep because I've been playing this game so much.
Oh, nice. And are you
One
playing? I know you're playing with your girlfriend, right? Or
Yeah,
just by yourself?
her and I have been doing a co-op campaign, which I got to tell you, for the longest time, I've been looking for like good couples games. I was thinking it might be like Stardew Valley or something like that. No, it was Baldur's Gate. This is a great game to play co-op. Like, literally, when you're laying in bed next to somebody, you both have your Game Boys in hand. Like, this is a solid way to kill an hour before bed or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
instead of whatever else adults do in bed.
I don't know. I play video games, right?
It works for me, man. I'm
That's what I
having a
thought.
blast.
I love that game. Playing it with you, and then also Clinton and Alex. I think Clinton's the only one who hasn't played it. I've beaten it. I think Alex has beaten it. But I think that our friend Clinton's the only one who hasn't. And it's kind of hard not spoiling things for people and just being like, no,
Sure.
do this. And then I'm just like, oh, we are doing the dumbest actions. Like, this is definitely not how I did this when I first played through, because I was playing a bard. And so I would just talk my way out of every situation.
Yeah,
And
sometimes you gotta smite the haters. We got a paladin in the group. That's just how it be.
yeah, and so now it's like Clinton is playing a paladin as you would play a paladin, which is lawful stupid.
Right.
And it's pretty fun, but it's still like I'm trying to stay back and be like, okay, let them decide what they want to do, because I know how to go through this without conflict.
I laughed so hard when we were playing, and the paladin was doing paladin things, and we all had to be like, "Oh, hold on, no, these guys." To rewind just a little bit, he was mad at the druids for something. He's like, "What? No, that's not divine and righteous." And we all had to be like, "Hold on, no, wait. Your order, you are friends with these guys. You are pro these guys. You advocate what they're advocating for."
Yeah.
The paladin forgot their oath,
Yep.
which
exactly.
I mean, I imagine is probably actually pretty common, but it's just funny to see it happen in real time.
There is so there's a thing in the game where you can throw potions,
Mhm.
and if you throw the potion in the middle of a group of people, mainly your characters, you can actually heal them all with one potion, which is great. You can also throw a potion at just one person, and it will heal that person. So if somebody ends up going down or needs healing, like if you have a good arm, you can throw it at them. But what happened before that I've heard is a paladin threw a potion on a dying teammate, and they had a passive where like they made throwing do more damage.
I see where this is going.
And so it ended up killing the person before the potion was used. So he ended up killing his teammate, and then that broke his oath. So yeah, there's a lot of fun like mechanics in the game that they were able to put in, and I'm looking forward to their next game. Though they have said outright like, hey, our next game is not going to be Baldur's Gate 3. It's not going to be. Yeah.
It, honestly, like with the engine that they've built up on, it could just keep the skeleton of what's here right now, and that would be fine.
Exactly.
I trust these guys with their storytelling prowess to make something that kicks ass.
Yeah, and all their their other games, Divinity, Original Sin 1 and 2, were also very good games. So hopefully the next one will be good. Did you play anything else?
I'm gonna still talk about Baldur's Gate. I started a single player file doing Dark Urge as an Oathbreaker Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
That feels right. That feels good.
Yeah.
Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, a game from over a decade ago.
Yeah.
Good. Still the best racing game I know of on Steam. Do you know of any good racing games on Steam?
There's a newer Sonic game, but it's not as good as All Star Racing Transform.
Yeah, that's the common consensus. I keep on looking for a good kart style racer. They just ain't out there for some reason.
Yeah, the newer one was good, from what I understand, but it wasn't as good. It was like a Sonic Team Racing, I think is what it's called, and I guess it was pretty good, but not to the level of All Star Racer Transform. Have you been playing that with your girlfriend?
Yeah, she absolutely adores. She's actually playing your copy, so thanks for that.
You're welcome.
We've tried a couple. There's a Garfield kart game, which is atrocious. There's a Disney
awful.
kart racing game that's atrocious. Like, someone needs to step up to the plate. This is a cash cow of a franchise that, I mean, just look at Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform. It very obviously has longevity if you do it right.
Yeah, it's been out for over a decade now, and it's still the best kart racer that I've played in a long time. Other than like Mario Kart, but I don't generally get Mario Kart games because they're on the Switch and always like $60.
I have a Switch. I just don't like the mental gymnastics I would need to do to justify supporting Nintendo at this time in my life is just not worth it. I'm just not gonna buy Nintendo products.
Yeah, that's fair. Is there anything else? Anything else notable?
No, nothing worth mentioning. Like I feel like I gushed about this already a couple-year-old game enough.
Yeah. Is Baldur's Gate 3 a couple years old? It's a year.
It came out. Is it just 1 year old?
I think it's like
Let's
a year and a half. Because it won all the awards last year. So it might be coming up to a couple years old, but I think it's about
August 3rd, 2023. I'll be damned.
Yeah. Day after my brother's birthday. Don't like that guy. Yeah, so the games I played I played some Black Ops 6. I was going to say 3, but no, it's 6 with some friends. And then also I played Black Ops 6 is Black Ops 6, right? They added a ranked mode, but I can't play the ranked mode because you have to do 50 normal PvP games before you can go into ranked. We're probably not going to do ranked because we're not tryhards really.
I just have to ask, why would you want to do ranked?
Yeah,
Is that,
exactly.
like, appealing?
I'd like to see, like, I like to go through like the base matches and see where I stand, and then not really do it like actually care about the rank. I always got to like rank 30 or 40 in Halo back in the day on Xbox 360, and then I never wanted to try hard enough to get level 50. Anyway, it's fun. My friend that I play with doesn't really like playing zombies, which is weird, just because he's like, I don't know what to do with zombies, and I don't know how to finish it, so I don't want to play it until I know how to finish it. I'm like, okay, but zombies could just be fun.
I feel yeah. I was just gonna say I feel like you're fundamentally missing the point.
Yeah.
Zombies isn't about solving; it's about surviving it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think there is a way to beat the zombie modes, but I don't
It's
know
like
how to
50
do that.
rounds or something like that's like people who play horde mode expecting that they're gonna finish it every single time. It's like,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I played some more of the new Metaphor ReFantasio, and that game is Persona still, and it's really good.
I was
Really,
actually gonna
really
ask if
good.
it was a Persona game. It certainly looks like it, but I don't know enough
It's
about the series to like identify that.
it is very much in the guise of Persona, but you don't make new creatures, really. So each like party member you get and certain people that they're called followers in this, but they're basically like companions or whatnot that would be in Persona.
Oh, your new
Um
Pokemon.
yeah, so you get new followers who are friends of yours, and as you like level up their bond or whatnot, it will allow you to use different archetypes, which is different personas. And you can, instead of being able to only swap out your base persona, you can swap out everyone's persona. So you can like change up different characters that might have different attributes, which is different than what you do in Persona, where basically you, Connor, would have the fire guy, right? And that's all you would have. But the main character could swap out different personas, but you can swap out anybody in this game, which is pretty cool. It's fun. It's like a medieval Persona game, and I'm loving it. And all the giant monsters, like the really bad monsters you fight, are called humans for some reason.
Hmm.
And I wonder, like, you are in like a kind of a fantasy world where you have different races, not like ogres, but you have different like races built on the game or within the game, and then none of them are human, and so they call the big monsters humans. And I wonder what that's gonna bring, and later on down the line, like, is that gonna play into the story, or is it just a joke that they made? I have no idea.
But in the end, the humans won and everybody else died.
Exactly.
The end.
But they're obviously not humans because they're giant monsters. I don't know.
Isn't
Anywho,
humanity really the giant monsters, though, Nathan?
oftentimes yes. And then I downloaded the Pokemon trading card game for my phone, and
Ooh, how's that? I've kind of been curious. I played Magic with some people a month ago, and that definitely ignited a spark in me deep down.
it's
I'm kind of
okay.
itching for a good card game.
It's a Pokemon card game. So if you like that, I literally downloaded it yesterday.
Wow.
And so I've just like opened up free card packs, and you get a free pack every 12 hours, which is nice. You start out by getting like 5 or 6 card packs, so you can make a deck, and then you just do like the basic battles and stuff. You can play against actual people or just do the PvE battles or whatever, um the computer battles, which is what I've been doing. And I haven't played that much, but it's all right. I'll probably get bored of it in a week and stop playing it. But that's kind of how I am with mobile games. I just can't get into them. But then you also get like hourglasses. So it's 12 hours to open a pack, but you can get hourglasses that each hourglass will take an hour off of that. But I've had the game for less than a day, and I have 150 hourglasses.
Hmm.
So
Is there like an event or something going on, or are they
I
just trying to incentivize new players to keep on coming? Because that's how you catch a whale.
yeah, that's how you catch a whale. Basically, you get a bunch of missions that you do, and as you complete missions, you get hourglasses. So if I wanted to, I could go and I could open up 10 packs right now, and have however many cards that is, because it's 5, so it'd be 50 cards that I could get, obviously with some duplicates showing up every now and then. But it's fun. I mean, if you like card games, which I assume you do, just download it and try it out.
Maybe I will check it out. And if you're listening out there and you know a good way of playing a card game, even if it's just like, I don't, there used to be a program in the 90s called Cockatrice that people used to play Magic on the computer. Is that still around?
I don't.
Make sure to join us on Discord and tell me how you play card games.
Isn't there a Magic online card game thing on Steam?
I think it's just like a cash shop machine, though. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe I'll look into that.
Probably. It probably is, but I have no idea.
The old Duel of the Planeswalkers game slapped hard, but those are also like a decade and a half old now.
Let me take a look here. I am on Steam. Magic the Gathering. Is it Magic the Gathering Arena?
I think so.
Let's see what the reviews are. They are mixed. And basically, yeah, it's probably, I would imagine, like, probably the same way with Pokemon. Like, they give you free card packs, and then they're like, oh, you could be more competitive if you buy more card packs. Ah?
You know what I really don't want to do is play a pay-to-win game right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to move on to some news stories, though. And we have a couple to talk about here. First things first, how do you say this guy's last name? Discord leaker Jack Tizera? Jack is sentenced to 15-year sentence for sharing classified documents because he's a dumbass. How many times do we have to tell you to stop sharing like classified information on Discord?
I feel like this wasn't an issue like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that. And then, between like War Thunder and just dumbasses like this, it's like, I feel like this happens every 3 weeks.
Yeah. So this guy from, he was in the Air National Guard. His name's, Jack. Received a 15-year sentence in federal prison for leaking classified military documents on a Discord in Boston, on Discord in a Boston federal court is where he was sentenced. He said he was sorry for all of the harm that I've caused to my friends, family, and those overseas. From what I understand, he shared classified military documents as far back as late 2022 on a Discord server dedicated to Minecraft. The leak included information about the Ukrainian and Russian troop movements and military equipment used in the war in Ukraine, and also Russia's attempts to obtain more weapons from Egypt and Turkey. The documents eventually found their way onto other Discord servers as well as 4chan and Telegram. Dumbass. This is worse. So the ones that we've covered in the past have been like, they've been War Thunder based.
People would be like, the real tanks, they don't actually work like this. They work like classified information.
Yeah, like, no, like winning online arguments with classified documents, I know is bad and illegal, but also hilarious.
A part of me fundamentally gets being like the hubris of just being like, well, no, you're wrong, and here's why. But it's probably bad that people could be goaded that easily.
Yeah.
If that's the end result.
Yeah, so
that's not exactly what's going on here, though.
No, that's annoying and illegal, and don't share that. Don't share that information. This is like could definitely get people killed because it's like showing military movement. And that's not good. I think in the 2000s, Geraldo Rivera got in trouble. Not this type of trouble, but when he was in Iraq or Afghanistan and accidentally showed like military positions in that country that he was in. And so he ended up getting like kicked out and he couldn't go back and like talk about that particular place anymore. This at the end of this article, this is all on Engadget. FBI officials arrested Jack at his home in April of last year. Jack originally agreed to a plea deal with federal prosecutors in March that included a 16-year prison sentence for pleading guilty to 6 counts of willful retention of and transmission of national defense information and violating the Espionage Act. If he stuck with the not guilty plea and received the guilty verdict, he could face a much steeper maximum prison sentence of 60 years. So the plea deal was a lot better.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I feel like if you were pleading not guilty to this, and I feel like they would just take you out back and shoot you like with a court martial.
I don't think they would do that.
You don't think there would be a tribunal involved at that point? They just say fuck the laws.
Uh, I mean, they might, but I don't know. This wasn't done in a military court. This was done in a normal court.
I wonder
So
if he was. It's so weird. That I feel like that makes all of the difference here, because it says that he smuggled and he leaked the documents. That's that smuggling part that I really raise an eyebrow at. Like, how did the transmission of this data happen, or was he literally just sitting on Minecraft being like, well, no, that's not realistic because the Ukrainians have 200 soldiers posted at this place. Like, is it really that stupid?
I have no idea. I'm not part of that Minecraft server, unfortunately. So
Tune in next week when we do our very first in-depth undercover investigation.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But
I have a feeling that server's probably already been scrubbed.
probably. I don't like I understand. I'm sure you do too. Like I like being correct. But on the other hand, I don't like being correct to the point where I could be illegally detained or legally detained and put in prison for 15 years.
Fuck,
And
15 years. Up to 60 years, apparently.
up to 60 years. Like it would have been kind of funny.
Correct.
Yeah, he could have been like, what we probably would have done in that situation where it's like, no, you're wrong, and I can't tell you why. But you're wrong. But also, it just doesn't matter. We're also like, we're getting to the point, I'm fucking almost 40 years old, which is disgusting to me because my brain is still like, I'm in my 20s.
But your body is like, ow.
Yeah, well, other than like, if I sleep wrong, sometimes my back hurts a little bit. Like, I'm doing pretty good for a guy my age. But I'm over like trying to win online arguments. Like, even if that even though this guy shared this classified information, like there are still people that he was arguing with that were still like, "Nah, I'm right." Like, you can present as much evidence as possible, and people will still just be like, "No, you're wrong."
That's just the experience of talking to people on the internet. Like,
exactly.
I've done it enough to know that I don't actually want to do it ever.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate, but
it is.
Hey, boy, that's where we are right now.
It is sad. We're gonna move on to our next story. About good old games. It's not good old games anymore. They changed that years ago to just be GOG. Because they started incorporating new games. And so they're just GOG.com.
Now it stands for good old GOG.
Good old GOG. Basically, this is all from Destructoid. They're launching the GOG Preservation Program, a collection of 100 games that the company intends to improve and maintain to ensure they run on modern system environments. There's a lot of old games that either ran on DOS or like older version of Windows, or they were tied to like the CPU cycles, which is, I think, a terrible way to program games.
Yeah, I've definitely played a game before and then had it go at like 12,000 ticks per second. It's like, my computer is too good to run this.
Yeah,
Welcome
if you
to Deus Ex.
I was gonna say, if you try playing Deus Ex without any of the like mods to make it work, it doesn't work. It's just like 12,000 frames a second. I remember doing that like years ago. I can't even imagine what it plays like on my computer now. Probably like 25,000 frames a second. And you press a button and you just like, skip across the room. So there's another one. There's one that's called Interstate 76 that has some bugs that are game breaking. Because of that, the physics are tied to the frame rate, so it runs too fast on our GPUs. There's a mission that has a jump that's pretty difficult to pull off under normal circumstances, but completely impossible on faster hardware. So fans have had to solve the issues, and even following their instructions, it can be tricky to get it right. I wonder if, because there's the Afterburner, right? MSI Afterburner that you can tie to games and like force a game to run at a certain frame rate.
Right.
That could probably fix that, but I wonder if Afterburner is too new to detect that game. But I have no idea. Apparently, that's not one of the games on the list. So it could be because of a number of reasons. As they point out in the article, some of the games that they get on GOG, the licensing agreements basically say you can't touch the source code. Like, you can't make you just have to release it as is, and you can't change anything about it. So Interstate 76 might be one of those games that you just can't mess around with. There's some games that they have mentioned are like SimCity 2000, which I guess is using the inferior DOS version. Did you get that? It's the SimCity 2000 is using the inferior DOS version.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I noticed my internet had a bit of a drop there. So, there's Alpha Protocol and Resident Evil have been added back. Have you played Alpha Protocol? That seems like a game you would like.
No, people have told me that I would like it before. I haven't checked it out though.
It's like kind of a less good Deus Ex Human Revolution, from what I understand.
What I've heard of it.
Yeah. So they're trying to revive games built on outdated bespoke tech that original creators can no longer maintain. So not everyone can be Petroglyph, who still releases regular updates for Star Wars Empire at War, which is a great game. They did say that there are some games that are being added to this list, one of which is Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and another one of your favorite games, Fallout New Vegas.
Hell yeah, those are two fan favorites right there.
Yeah. But they hope to certify hundreds of games with their stamp of approval by the end of 2025. So this is going to have like a GOG stamp of approval. Like when you go to click on the game, it'll say this is maintained by GOG. So you know that it should work on your system without you having to tinker with it.
Because there's nothing worse than picking up a game and it just won't work. That's an experience I've definitely had on the Steam store enough times. Like trying to play Prototype on the Steam Deck, it just don't work, homie. Getting it to work on PC just don't work anymore.
I tried playing. There's an old game. It's an old Star Trek game, like Bridge Commander or something, and it's super hard to get working on new computers. Same thing with another game called it's another Star Trek game. Star Trek. What was it called? Origins of the Federation or something like that, where it's a SimCity, or not SimCity, it's a Civilization game built around Star Trek, and it is like impossible to get to work on newer systems. You have to run it in like an XP emulator, which sucks, or a virtualized VM, a virtual machine.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. I had this idea of basically the question of how do you preserve games that no longer run on modern systems anymore, with the idea that you would package it with basically a self-contained virtual box that has exactly what it needs to run and not much else. But if they have the ability to alter source code, if they could change whatever function calls are being done at system level that no longer work with the updated versions of Windows, that would even be better. There's no emulation needed.
Yeah, and it's the name, I just remember it. Star Trek Birth of the Federation. That's what it's called. It's a fun game. I liked it.
Like I'm hopefully one day just like we'll find a way to conveniently make all of these games reverse compatible with like any system we throw at it. But until then, God bless GOG for putting in the effort.
Yeah, exactly. And compatibility mode in Windows sucks. So you're not going to be.
I don't think it's ever worked for me.
Yeah, it's never been. I think it's worked once for me, maybe, but it's definitely not something that works all the time. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to see a bunch of those games like over the next year, be getting updated on good old games, and maybe if any of them interest us, we'll talk about them on the podcast. But our last story for the day is something that doesn't really interest us, but I wanted to talk about it anyway, which is more NFT nonsense.
I thought these were done with.
Nope, McDonald's is jumping on the bandwagon, baby.
Why?
Fucking 3 years too late. Yeah. So the first couple paragraphs here, this is all from Engadget, or I'm sorry, Gizmodo. They basically they're doing doodles, which is an NFT thing, I guess, and then Doodles has transferred from being just NFTs to like normal art stuff so that they don't die. I do find this funny. It says from Gizmodo, it says the X account for McDonald's shared a teaser on Tuesday, which included a short 7-second video with the numbers 11/18, meaning November 18th. And then you scroll down and it says by Thursday the real reveal came with a tweet promising new holiday cups just over the horizon. So even in their own article, they call it both X and then also talked about them as tweets rather than posts because nobody knows what the fuck to call them anymore. It's just Twitter.
I'm hoping really soon it'll just be dead and people will be like, Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. That's what I'm on. Go to Blue Sky, Reeton. And then Doodles also explains how digital assets will be promoted to people who make their McDonald's purchases through the restaurant's app. The thing I actually wanted to talk about this is that they put out a statement saying this is the last post in this thread from the official Doodles account. Beware of impersonator accounts and phishing links. Remember, do not click on links that appear to be from Doodles before cross-referencing with, doodles.app. The tweet reads.
That's annoying.
Well, yeah.
Sounds like it's a vulnerability.
It is. And let me tell you about that vulnerability. It says, why would Doodles have to do that? Because the crypto and NFT communities are absolutely swamped with scammers who pose as legitimate operations. And one of the common ways to do that is to create an account that looks identical to Doodles or any other like crypto account. Buy a blue check mark from Elon Musk for $8, which will push your reply to the top of the responses and compel people to click on the link that looks like it's part of the original thread. Thus, this is the last post in the thread, helps make it clear that anything under that could be dangerous. So
this is just a Ponzi scheme.
Not
that all NFTs aren't a Ponzi scheme, but like.
Well, yeah, that's true. This is a Ponzi scheme, but what I'm more wanting to talk about is the fact that we called this, that shit like this would happen once Elon Musk made it so that blue check marks were something that you could buy.
Right. Oh, people are pretending that they're legitimate sources. Who could have seen that coming? Literally everyone.
Yeah, but this is just, I think the NFT thing is stupid, but they're just making new holiday cups for their McCafe stuff.
They don't even look that good.
Nope. They never do, right? But nope, they don't. They just look like there's too much going on for what I'm looking at. Like there's just like there's this over here and like these people, swimming around or playing around in the snow, and then
they're very ADHD cups, yeah, which I mean is okay, but like does this need to be an NFT, guys?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just them going and wanting to make new cups for winter time, and they're using doodles and possibly NFTs to do it. Apparently that this has caused kind of an uptick in NFT prices since this has been released. It does say here the last paragraph says, will McDonald's and Doodles actually be able to give NFTs serious revival? It says nobody can say for sure. I can. The answer is no.
No.
It does say with the incoming President Donald Trump's embrace of cryptocurrencies, it seems likely that many people will try to ride the wave into something lucrative when major brands like McDonald's are dipping their toes back into the water. there might be a slight uptick for like a week, but it's going to drop back down because nobody gives a shit about NFTs. Nobody ever gave a shit about NFTs. Like, I think, again, we were calling it on this podcast saying, hey, NFTs are stupid when NFTs were at their height. So don't buy into NFTs. It's just, you're just throwing your money away.
It's a scam. It's a pump and dump.
It is. But yeah, so don't buy NFTs. Crypto, maybe just do your research on that. And don't buy like random crypto things. You know, Doge, I guess, went up in popularity and price recently because of certain shit that's happened politically.
Yeah, it seems legal.
But it'll probably drop back down rather quickly as well. And so we'll see what happens. I made like a few $100 on Doge. So I can't really complain about that because I bought it when it was at like before its peak popularity, and then I sold it. And so I think I made like $1,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Not bad.
But then I sold it and then never thought about it again because then it dropped down in price quite a bit. Anywho, that's it. Don't buy NFTs. And I know it's a pretty short podcast this week, but that's okay. I think Connor and I are both feeling a little burnt out.
Just a little bit. I've got the dog. He's definitely telling me he needs to do some business here too.
Yeah, I'm just
sorry it's a little short.
It gets to the point where not with the podcast, but just with life, we're just getting burnt out. So we'll be back next week, and we'll be playing some more. We'll be talking about more video games and tech news. Thank you for being here, Cyberpunk Monk.
Tune in next week when we'll be live streaming on twitch.tv/Reeton.
That's me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.